makeup friends, and welcome to day 5 of 7 days of decluttering. Today is all about bronzers, as I'm sure you saw by the title, but somehow I feel compelled to say it regardless. We're going to be decluttering bronzers. Spoiler. Anyways, let's get straight into it. All right, so these are the bronzers that I own. Some of them are more contour powders and some of them are your traditional bronzer, but I've lumped them all together here today just for the purposes of this video. I don't really feel like my bronzer collection is out of control. Not in the same way that like my blush collection certainly is and my highlighters. Bronzers, I don't tend to get super jazzed about them, so I don't tend to buy a lot of them. There are quite a few, but I'm not super overwhelmed by this. So I'm not entirely sure how many we're actually going to part ways with, but at any rate, let's dive into it. I know that there are some straight off the top that I'm not going to be getting rid of. So I'm just going to grab those ones and we'll quickly go through them. So first up, there's the newest one that I've got. This is from Kiko Milano, and this is one of their Dolce Diva baked bronzers. This one's in the shade Special Honey. I just got this one like a week or two ago, so I am not prepared to get rid of it. I also actually just happen to really like it. I think it's got a nice tone to it. It is on the warm side without being too orange based, and it just looks really nice on my skin tone. So I'm going to keep that one. And also I love this packaging so much. I think it's so beautiful. We've also got this one here, which is fairly new to my collection as well. This one is from Dior. It is the Dior Forever Natural Bronzer in the shade 5 Warm Bronze. And this is one of the deepest bronzers that I own, if not, in fact, the deepest. But it blends out so nicely that the depth of it really doesn't create any issues for me. So it doesn't look too deep on my skin, even when I don't have a tan, but I also think that if I do have a tan, it's going to show up still. So this is one that I really do not want to get rid of, and I think it's a very pretty and nice bronzer. It's got a nice finish on the skin. This one here actually probably should have gone in with my face palette / duos because it does have 2 pans, but I forgot about it. So here it is now. This is another new purchase for me. This one is from Vive. And this is the Modern Bronzer Duo in Light. So I've got Light 1 and Light 2. And you can see in here that this one is a little bit more cool toned. This one is a little bit warmer. But again, these are just like the right depth and the right undertones for my skin. So it's not too ashy on the cool side. It's not too orange on the warm side. It just looks really nice on my skin, and I will not be decluttering that one either. And this is another one that probably could have fit into that duo category that I decluttered because, again, 2 pans in here. So you have a cream contour shade and then a powder bronzer. This is from Patrick Ta, and this is the cream contour and powder bronzer duo in the shade She's Statuesque. And I actually do like this duo. I've not always been like a huge fan of Patrick Ta's face powders. His single blushes in particular I found very frustrating to work with because it just would not show up on my skin. This does run on the lighter side of things. So if you are very fair, this would actually probably work for you. But I do find that it does produce a nice natural looking shadow on my skin, particularly this contour side of things. Even though it is a bit lighter, it does build up in pigmentation. The cream blends out nicely. It's not sticky. It's not too like stiff where it doesn't blend. It just wants to stick where you initially put it. It blends out no problem. I don't have any issues with the formula of the cream. Likewise, the powder is also very blendable, and overall I am happy with this duo, so I will be keeping it. My camera is struggling so hard with this one. It does not know what to focus on. At any rate, this is one of the light ones from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the contour wand, and I have it in fair medium. And the only thing I don't like about it is this little like spongy job at the bottom there. I'm not a big fan of that, but overall the product itself is actually very nice. I have used a lot of this, so this is almost done. I'm not going to be decluttering it because I will continue using it and I will finish it. This one here is another contour product. This one's from Natasha Denona, and it is in the shade 1 Light. And there you have it. I don't know if you can really see just how much of a dip I've got going on in there. I do use this very frequently. Between this one and my Smashbox Cali Contour Kit, I do get a lot of use out of both of those contour powders, so I'm not going to be getting rid of this one. This one here is from Guerlain, and this is their Terracotta Golden Bee bronzer. This was, I think, a limited edition release. It might have been their holiday release for 2020. I can't exactly remember. I did cash in Shoppers Drug Mart points in order to pick this one up, so I didn't pay any money out of pocket. I am not going to keep this one. This one is very orange toned, and it also has like little bits of micro glitter in there, so it is quite a glowy bronzer, which is really not my preferred finish, but overall it's just the color of this one. I'm going to pass this on to a friend who has a bit of a deeper skin tone than me. I think this is going to look good on her, but on me it's just way too orange and it just looks odd on my skin, so I am going to let this one go. This one here is from Chanel. It's the Soleil Tan de Chanel, and this was the original formula. I know they've reformulated it and they've changed some of the ingredients, and from reviews I've heard people aren't as big of a fan of it as they were this original one. You can see that I have got quite a bit of good use out of it. I am going to continue working on this, and also, oh my goodness, it smells so good. I love the smell of this product. I will not even try to describe it because I can't, but like high-end luxury skincare. That's what it smells like. It smells so good. But yes, I have used it quite a bit. I really like this one. I will be keeping it, and maybe one day I'll actually finish it. 8 years from now. This is another cream bronzer, and this one's from Huda Beauty. This is the Tan Tour Contour and Bronzer Cream in Fair. And the idea of a contour and bronzer cream combined is a little bit odd because they're kind of opposite. Like contour is a more cool tone to create those shadows, whereas bronzer is really sort of like warming up the skin. So the fact that they're trying to make this do double duty is a little bit odd, but at any rate, here we are. So you can see that I have hit pan on this one as well. This is currently one of my project pan items, and I'm not in love with this. I think it's just not the right undertone for me. I can pick some of it up and show you. I think the formulation of it is really nice, but it is quite deep. It's definitely on the warmer side, so I don't use this as a contour because I just find, first of all, it's too strong, but you can see like the warmth peeking through in there. It doesn't create a contour for me. But as a bronzer, I also find that I just have to blend and blend and blend and blend because it's a bit too deep for me, even though it is one of their lightest shades, if not the lightest shade. Yeah, this is Fair, so this is the lightest shade that it comes in, and even at that, I find that it's just too deep for me. So I'm going to keep working on it until I do my next Project Pan update, and then I will be letting this one go at that point. I have another cream bronzer here. This one is from Tarte, and it is one of their breezy cream bronzers, and this one's in the shade Seychelles. And there is the shade here. I honestly don't remember if I like this or not. I've been focused so much on the Chanel and the Huda cream bronzers that I have not used this one in quite a minute. I can see that I have used it a fair amount, but I really don't remember what the experience of using this is like. So I'm going to put it into Makeup Purgatory, and I will continue trying it out and then decide from there if this is something that adds value to my collection or should be passed on. All right, let's talk about these guys here because I've got two of these bronzers from, oh, this isn't even a bronzer. This is a highlighter. My bad. I had this sitting in here as though it was a bronzer, but it's actually a gigantic highlighter. So let's talk about that one when we're talking about highlighters. All right, this bronzer here from Marc Jacobs, this is in the shade Tantric 102. The Omega bronzer. I got this at Winners for, I have no idea, a fraction of what it would have actually cost me at like Sephora or something of that sort. But within like the first two uses, the packaging broke, so it doesn't actually close at all, which is super, super annoying. This little thing broke off on the inside. In any event, there is the bronzer there. It is a gigantic pan, just massive, and I just don't reach for it. I don't really know what it is. It might be because I have to like pile stuff on top of it to keep it closed. So it's out of sight, out of mind. I just don't think about it, but I never reach for it. And then if I compare it to the Charlotte Tilbury one here, the Airbrush Bronzer in 2 Medium, they're fairly similar in tone. Like there's really not that much of a difference between them. Like there's a very slight difference, but once it's blended out, you really can't tell. And I really don't feel like I need both of them. So because this one is just a little bit smoother, to be honest, and the packaging is so much better, I am going to part ways with Marc Jacob, but I will keep Charlotte Tilbury. Okay, so let's talk about the 2 Fenty bronzers then. So they're both the Sunstalker bronzers. This one is in Into Sun. This one is Shady Biz. Obviously, this is the full size and this is a sample. Into Sun is a little bit lighter and arguably a little bit cooler than Shady Biz. You can see, if I put them in frame. So there you can see the difference between the 2 of them. And I think they're just like 1 shade apart from each other. So it's kind of remarkable just how different they are. But also like the undertone, this one is so much warmer than this one. And I certainly used them quite a bit, although this one is very subtle on my skin. Like I wouldn't use it for contour, but it just doesn't really show up. I really have to build that one up. Whereas this one here, Shady Biz, is much more obvious on my skin. So I think what I'm going to do is actually keep this one here, Shady Biz, and I am going to see if my best friend Erin wants this because she is quite a bit more fair than me. So this might actually show up better on her skin. So I'm going to pass that on to her. And then this one here is the mini size of the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer in Luminous Bronze Light. And that is what it looks like in the pan. And I actually really like how this looks on the skin, so I'm definitely going to keep this one. And then the last one is from LYS, and this is the No Limits Matte Bronzer in the shade Motivate, which is the lightest shade in their line. And this one's a bit more like on the yellow side of things rather than orange, but I actually like that. I think that that is more suited to my skin tone than a more orangey bronze. I'm trying to find a spot where I haven't put bronzer already. There, I don't know. The lighting's not fantastic here. There, you can see it a little bit better. I have so many bronzers now that I don't really feel I need this one, but at the same time, I do like this one. You know what, we'll put this one into Makeup Purgatory as well, and I will try it a few more times and decide after that. So there we go. These are the bronzers that I am definitely going to be keeping. These are the 2 that I've put into Makeup Purgatory so that I can continue testing them and deciding from there if they are what I want to keep. And then these are the 4 that I'm going to be getting rid of. So I am going to try to give these to 2 different friends of mine to see if they'll work for them. I don't necessarily want to pass along a cream product just because you can't really sanitize it as easily, or at least I don't think you can. I could be wrong in that. And then with this one, the packaging is just busted and there's no easy way to pop that pan out. And I don't want to keep it. And I don't think anybody else is going to want a broken compact. So I'm just going to part ways with this. And there we have it. That's my declutter of my bronzers. Ta-da! I don't know. I got nothing else to say. I don't know. Come on back tomorrow and we will declutter my highlighter collection. Somewhat more exciting than bronzers. I got to admit, bronzers, not a very sexy item. They truly aren't. They're just not that exciting for me. Highlighters and blush, though, yeah. Going through the blushes was a somewhat painful process, but you'll see that in 2 days' time. Tomorrow will be highlighters. Today was bronzers. Thank you for taking the time to watch it, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, Just be a decent human being. Bye for now.